So we're here at Queen's Hill in Newport. This is a property that we have sourced for an international investor, and it's going to be turned into a HMO. But while we wait for planning, we're going to rent this out as serviced accommodation, so temporary accommodation to generate revenue during the period that we're waiting for planning permissions. So let's have a look around. So this is the main front room, the lounge as it would have been of the original property. This particular room will become a spacious bedroom. And one of the things that we're going to be doing in this room is to get the maximum space, we're going to be taking out the chimney. Now, a lot of people don't take out the chimneys when they're doing these type of refurbs, and that's because of the cost of taking the chimney out all the way from top to bottom. But actually, you don't have to do that. You can take the chimney out here, and you can take the chimney out in the room above it. But in the attic, you can actually leave the chimney there and put it on some support, some steel support that will allow it to be held up. It's perfectly good with building regulations, and it means that it's a very little repair for the top, and you don't have to take it out from the roof itself. That drastically reduces the cost of removing the chimney, but it leaves much more space in the room because the chimney from here has gone away, it's been taken away. So that's one thing. Another thing to note, of course, is that because we're going to be doing work on an exterior wall of the property here, this is a terraced property, is that we will need to have a party wall agreement with the house next door to be doing any work to this particular wall. So we'll negotiate with next door, we'll explain to them the works that we're looking to do, that we're going to transform this house into a much nicer space for the residents of the area, and we hope that they'll obviously support that and agree to a party wall agreement that will then allow us to do work to the exterior walls. Originally, this would have been the second reception room of the property. However, what they've done is made it into a sort of ad hoc bathroom, and they've put a false stud wall here, but they then have a separate utility area with obviously the washing machine and maybe a tumble dryer in. And of course, behind me, as I stand here now, we have a back door that goes out to the rear of the property. So we're going to reinstate this as a secondary bedroom here on the ground floor. Because we've already got the plumbing in place, we're going to be putting a small ensuite in this particular room. So we'll put 1,000, maybe a 1,200, we haven't finalised that yet, shower tray, and then we'll have an integral sink and the loo. Here, we're going to be incorporating some of this. So we're going to put a slightly smaller window in here so the ensuite can come further out. But then where we've got a panel at the top here, we're going to reinstate that panel as a light area. So we're going to have about an 800 window here. There'll be a tall window that opens out on this level. So plenty of ventilation, plenty of light coming into the rest of the room, but it's going to benefit from an ensuite that will cost us a fraction of the cost of installing an ensuite into a HMO under normal circumstances. So here we are, coming through the corridor to the rear of the property. And we have another reception room here. So with this particular reception room, what we planned is to incorporate a small shower room WC in the corner of the room here. That's because as a 7-bed HMO, this will need one bathroom for every 3 occupants. So we're going to do one ensuite, and then we're going to have one bathroom here and one bathroom upstairs. The rest of this room then is going to be the sort of dining communal area, and we're going to be putting a steel support in. We'll need an engineer's report for doing that to take out part of this wall, and that will go through into the kitchen. We'll only take out part of the wall, creating a half wall, so that we can then put a sort of breakfast bar area on the top here, but it will open the kitchen out, make it feel much bigger, and bring this room into the kitchen as communal space. Now the kitchen is actually in reasonable condition. It's not in top condition, it's not what we'd be proud of to show in a HMO, and so we're going to look at changing this kitchen, but keeping all of the appliances and the supplies in the same areas, because that vastly reduces the cost of the renovation. So if you start moving the location of the sink and moving the location of the gas supply for the oven and cooker, that is going to cause further costs. Now, as a 7-bed HMO, to comply with the licensing requirements that we have here in Newport, in South Wales, we're going to need to put 2 oven and hobs here. So I have 2 oven and hobs, and we also need, rather than a sink and a half, we need at least a double sink. So we're going to be reconfiguring this kitchen area, as we said, opening it out to the main room that we've just been inside. And what that's going to do is it's going to give a big open design of space and very clever use of space so they can get the right storage in and the right specification in terms of ovens, sinks and fridge space, so that this will be compliant for licensing as a 7-bed HMO. Here we have wonderful front room, the upstairs main bedroom if you like, and this room spans the full width of the house and has the bay window as well as a side window. What we're looking to do here is to divide this bedroom into 2 rooms, because we can create 2 compliant double bedrooms here. They will both be comfortably over 6.3 meters squared, which is the local requirement. And so what we'll be able to do is put 2 separate bedrooms. They'll both be doubles. And so the stud partition wall will come off the edge here of so the one bay window and the main window as you walked in through the front door of this bedroom. They will be in one bedroom, and in the other bedroom here, it'll have the rest of the bay. Plenty of room. Now, the important thing with doing this type of conversion is that if we want to put another door in, we're going to lose too much space in this bedroom by splitting it and put in effectively the corridor or accessway for both bedrooms. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to take a little piece away from the rear bedroom so that we can bring a door further over, and these rooms will stay the same depth. It's only the width by splitting them that will be affected. Cost in, of course, when you're splitting the bedroom like this, is the fact that we're going to be changing the radiator. So at the moment, there's one huge radiator serving quite a big room. So we want a smaller radiator in the room so that it's not energy inefficient, but also so that it doesn't take up too much wall space. So there's space for beds and wardrobes and all of the other things to make a comfortable bedroom that's aesthetically pleasing and also functional. So we're going to be having one smaller radiator, but then we'll also need a new radiator for, in fact, the new bedroom we create. We'll have to reconfigure some of the electrics so the sockets are in the right places. And of course, as well as that, it's the lighting. So the lighting above the pendants needs to be, it's right in the center of the room. So that will need to be moved to create 2 separate lighting with switches, etc. This property has had a complete rewire fairly recently. So we've tested the electrics. We know that we're very comfortable with the condition of the electrics here. So we won't be doing a full electrical rewire of the property, but we will obviously be making those significant changes we need. And they will include changes to also add sockets so that we have much more electrical outlets for the tenants of the property. We do like to put in, at least for every bedroom, at least one USB and USB-C supply so that people can plug in their phones straight into those without affecting the actual supply sockets for their lamps, hair dryers and anything else they happen to be operating from their bedroom. So this is one of the bedrooms that is just to the rear of that large front room. In this particular bedroom, like we said, we're going to be taking a small amount of this bedroom away, so we get an access door here into the front room. This will still be a comfortably sized double bedroom after we've taken this little bit away. Fantastic light that's coming in from this bedroom as well, from the large window, and a pretty fantastic view that spans beyond Newport into the hills of the Usk Valley beyond. And here we have the final 2 bedrooms. So here we have one which is 7 meters squared, and will take very little changing, no reconfiguration to happen there. Of course, we're going to update it. There'll be new architrave. Of course, there has to have fire doors to be compliant, but not too many changes to that particular room. And the final room is this room at the very back of the property here, which again is a nice, comfortable double bedroom. And as you can see, it's of a reasonable space and again benefits from the fab views. So the boiler is situated right now in one of the bedrooms. Now this is a Worcester boiler, which is a very good quality boiler, and it's a modern boiler. So what we're going to be looking to do is rehousing this existing boiler somewhere else in the property. Now we have a number of options when we do that. The lowest cost option would be to move the boiler back into the kitchen, evidentially where it was once upon a time. We know that from the way that the plumbing comes into the house through the kitchen and then gets dispersed elsewhere afterwards. So originally, the original boiler, when central heating was first put in the house, that was in the kitchen, and it's since been moved and put here into this back bedroom. Now, whilst for planning, you don't need to worry about where the boiler is to get the planning permission to turn this from a house into a HMO, The one difference is that for licensing, so the licensing requirement is done by the Environmental Health Department of Newport Council. They won't like the fact the boiler is in a bedroom because, as I say, if this person who occupies this bedroom leaves for the day, and they lock it, and there's a problem with the bedroom, a problem with the boiler, nobody else can get in and service or repressurize or deal with any problem with the boiler, or worse still, an emergency with the boiler. So they would prefer the boiler to be moved into an area which is communal space. So we could move it back into the kitchen, but if we do that, we're going to lose critical space. So we don't want to do that. We'll put the boiler in the attic with a loft ladder that will access it very easily and board it out. Now, that won't be allowed for access for the communal area for the people that are occupy the property, other than one effective spokesperson who will have the key and have the access to get in there. The critical reason why we do this is because in the attic, it's not too expensive to put it there, although it will be more expensive to house it there than house it in the kitchen. But what it will do is it will mean that we're not using any critical living space inside the property, which all comes at a premium when we're looking at converting this to a high yielding 7-bed HMO. So there's a complete summary of what we're going to do at this fabulous house on Queen's Hill. The location is superb, and one of the main reasons why this location has increased in desirability is because there's been a new footbridge that goes over the railway just a few yards from here, and that goes directly into the city centre. Previous to that, it was a reasonable walk up the road to go around to the nearest bridge and come back down into the town centre. It's halved the time that the able-bodied person would take to walk that distance. The other thing that's good about this location is that we have a supermarket just down the road, a few yards away on the other side. So whichever way you go from here, you've got main bus routes, you've got city centre location, you've got no immediate parking outside, but you have got parking in the area. And also, of course, like we say, we've also got a supermarket very close by. So in terms of location, absolutely superb. A location that's been lifted up by this new footbridge, which really has changed the dynamic of the region, brought some energy back to this particular part of Newport city centre. So this is a refurb that we're doing on behalf of a client. So we've acquired this property on behalf of an international client. We're now going to be going through the planning process. And before we go through planning, we're going to rent it out on an Airbnb basis. So we're going to furnish it and we're going to generate revenue for our client while we're waiting for the planning to come in. Then we'll completely convert the property and bring this HMO. So we're going to do a video dialogue of this property as we progress things over the next few months. It'll be really exciting for you to follow us. Please click like this video, and also, of course, subscribe if you want to see more and learn more great tips about what we're doing as the team at Harvey Bowes in terms of deal sourcing, in terms of financing, and then managing the refurbs and managing the tenants afterwards to provide the complete package so that we have a one-stop shop turnkey solution for our valuable clients.
Looking to purchase a property for investment or development? Look no further. At Harvey Bowes, we pride ourselves in finding ways to make complex and niche deals work. Making sure to explore all the possible strategies and matching the right financing structure to the needs of each investor. Contact Harvey Bowes today. Property finance by investors, for investors.